Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Before we get into this video, may I ask that the 65% of my regular viewers who are yet to subscribe do consider do so. The algorithm is not kind to political channels, of which we are one, and it pushes us down in the pushing out of the videos. Every time you subscribe, it lifts us slightly higher. It is a massive, massive help to the channel, so do please consider subscribing. Now, I said in my last video that should Scotland achieve independence, taxes would undoubtedly have to rise and rise significantly. But this is also true if they don't get independence, as the Grand Mufti will announce today another increase in income tax. Indeed, not just an increase in income tax, a whole new tax band, because he needs the money. When you're spending 100 million a year or so just on independence causes, an independence that of course is completely unachievable, you have to get the cash from somewhere. And I'm afraid the somewhere is the poor taxpayers of Scotland. Still, I'm sure you don't mind becoming impoverished and having to struggle to put food on the table for your children, so long as the elite can continue in their pipe dream of independence. I'm sure you're all happy for that. But we'll take a look at this article to see why income tax is going up for what is defined as wealthy Scots, although for some reason wealth seems to start at £28,000 a year. Here goes. So the wee jobby has reached a final decision on raising income tax for wealthy Scots yet again. And I think you'll start to see wealthy Scots suddenly making a run for it, going south, moving their assets, lifting their assets away from a government determined to take everything they can to pay for their unachievable independence dreams. Dreams for them, of course, an absolute nightmare for everyone else, including their own supporters. It is understood the decision was made by the Cabinet last week and then kept quiet because they don't want the truth coming out. They don't want people to know that the taxes have got to go up until they're announced and it's too late to do anything, which is a shame. If only the man wasn't such a mindless zombie, he might have foreseen the problems. I've written a really boring, shitty speech for a conference. What can I do to make it exciting? Council tax freeze, brilliant. How are you going to pay for it? We'll put taxes up. So you're stopping this tax, but you're increasing this tax to pay for the taxes stopped over there. It's genius, isn't it? McJobby's government has reached a final decision on whether to raise income tax for high earners in next week's budget. And of course the answer is yes, grasping. Tax them till the pips squeak, or at least until the taxi doors close and they run for the border. His cabinet secretaries are said to have agreed a position days ago after a robust series of discussions. Robust is what they use to say arguments. People saying, are you an idiot? Because you know that people will do everything they can now to avoid tax. Avoidance is perfectly legal, of course. The SNP-led government is grappling with how to fill in a £1 billion black hole. For the £1 billion, read £2 billion, because the billion was the figure that announced before the council tax freeze and the 300 million extra announced for the NHS. The council tax freeze alone is likely to cost another £1 billion. So you're looking at £2 billion black hole. This is ahead of their annual tax and spending plans. One of the ideas under consideration for months has been creating a new tax band for better off Scots. Oh yes, because the more you tax people, the better it is, or something. Drawing on research from the STUC, Scottish Trades Union Conference, USAF earlier this year backed the principle of a 44% tax band for incomes between 75 and 125k. Just where the sort of the doctors and the dentists and that reside. So I can see a few of them sort of shifting their tax base south of the border. They don't have to physically move, of course. If you're a dentist and you have a company, Joe Smith Dentist Limited, but it's registered in Scotland, all you need to do is open up another company, John Smith Dentist brackets England close brackets Limited, open it in England, and then just put all your accounts through that one. And when you pay yourself, you're paying yourself out of your English account. Therefore, you're paying your tax to HMRC in England. So you're paying your English income tax and therefore saving a lot of money. Now, what the upshot of that is, not only do you save your money, but the money that was previously going, before this tax rise, was going to the Scottish Exchequer, is now going to the English Exchequer. So Scotland's losing out not just on a little bit of a rise, but then also on everything else. But you know, you're perfectly legally entitled to do it. I know what I'd do. I've been an accountant for 35 years, and if it comes to saving tax, I'm your boy. That's the end of this public service announcement. Anyway, one of the drawbacks has been the claims the revenue associated with the new ban has been exaggerated. Of course it has. And of course, not only is it exaggerated, but it will in reality be much lower, because people will be more inclined to make themselves tax efficient, as I say. The record understands that the First Minister's colleagues have been weighing up the move this month, including at 2 cabinet meetings last week. And the source said a decision was made last week, and the appropriate fiscal body has been informed. In other words, the Exchequer, the Scottish taxman basically has been informed that this is going to happen. They'll work out all the numbers, they'll do the tables, and then they'll present what they think will be the absolute number in terms of cash that will be raised by this extra band. It will not be as much as they think, number one, and secondly, it will then shortfall on other taxes, and indeed the whole tax take is likely across the board to fall, because people become more efficient and start moving companies into England for tax reasons. Even though they're physically in Scotland and physically doing the work there, the companies will be registered in England, and you don't need to physically have a physical address in England. A PO box will do. So you just hire a PO box at sort of £50 a year, and then save, I don't know, £10,000 a year in tax. Jobs are good, isn't it? So departmental cuts are also expected to be included in the draft budget, which will be delivered by Finance Secretary Shona Robertson. And we've already seen that she's cutting $30 million from mental health to ensure that she can ring fence $35 million for independence, for the pretendee embassies. So look to your children, see if they are needing any kind of help, emotional support, things like that, mental health issues, and then just know that your kids are going to suffer. That's fine, but at least friends of the elite have those nice cushy jobs all over the world in those nice plush offices. Lovely. Meanwhile, the Times newspaper reported that a group of cabinet secretaries are coordinating with each other on key issues at the top table. They were Transport Secretary, the Saturday girl Mary McCallan, Education Secretary and idiot Jenny Gilruth, and Rural Affairs Secretary and moron Mary Gougen. And what is it with these people that they only seem to employ and put into positions of authority people with incredibly low IQs or zero life experience? It's astonishing, isn't it? Mind you, Mary McCallan's always going to do well, being the current squeeze of the First Minister, allegedly. I'll stop there, I'll come up, we'll round off, but isn't it a terrible, terrible thing that, things are going to get so much worse when they introduce this new tax band, because you've got an idiot who doesn't understand the Laffer Curve. Stopping now, coming up, rounding off, and we'll move on, but it's unbelievable. Once they overtax everyone, and everyone who can get out does get out, or arranges their finances in such a way as to make them tax efficient, the tax take in Scotland, of course, will fall through the floor. And then you're going to get these people at the top there sitting there going, well, I don't understand it. We're putting the taxes up. How come we're getting less? Meanwhile, Jeremy Hunt down in London sitting there going, my God, where does all this extra money come from? Oh, tax cuts for everyone. And of course, that will make the problem a whole lot worse. Because if you're sitting there in Scotland and seeing tax cuts in England, and you're thinking, why aren't we getting any? Well, just look to who you're voting for. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been worth the watch. If it has, do please hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button. And I will speak to you later. Bye.